I'm back. Episode 2. It is this week, the seller process. If you are new here or you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching. Please like and share this. I'm trying to gain some following. I want to do this to nobody every Friday morning. My plan this summer, I guess, still winter, but 2021, I'm going to go live every Friday morning and discuss a different aspect of the real estate industry. This week, it is the seller process. Who am I? Well, I'm Chad Eckert, and I work for Edina Realty, and I can help you sell or buy in the state of Minnesota. If you need a realtor, my number is scrolling across the bottom at 612-590-3090. Yeah, this is a seller process video, so if you're about to sell your house or you're curious on how to do that, give me a call. Be happy to walk you through that. This is going to be about 15 minutes of the basics, of the regular old basics of selling your house from start to finish. What's it take to sell a house? Well, you got to start with a realtor. You got to start with somebody that's got knowledge in the area and that can sell your house for you. And that's me. I'm Chad Eckert. My team can come in and we can help you. Obviously, this is what I do for a job, okay? I try to get you top dollar for your house. That's the idea, right? Is to get the most money you can. So what do? We got to enhance the value of your home. We'll help you do that. We'll help you with the right strategy to price your house, not to price it too high. We don't want to scare people away, and we don't want to price it too low, leave money on the table. So we're going to work on that with you. We'll do a marketing plan, of course, get your maximum exposure. You got to get some negotiations. Sometimes in this market, you got to have a good negotiator. We can do that for you, and it will help you transact. The transactions is a lot of stuff, a lot of steps, a bunch of little things, and we'll help you get to the closing line, closing table, finish line. Okay. There you go. You got a realtor. You're about to think about selling. Well, you got to use an Edina Realty agent. They've got this network one. They've got this app. They've got that red sign. They'll help you sell it. We're a one-stop shop, too. We're owned by Berkshire Hathaway, so you get all the things you need under one roof at Edina Realty, so you can do that. Again, finding the right agent is a good idea. And then what's the real first step in moving? Well, you got to figure out how much we can get for your house. So you call me, you get me in your house, I look around, measure it, see how good it is, and then we figure out a price. But Chad, I can already do that on Zillow because they got a Zestimate for me. I don't know, that Zestimate's not always accurate. I just looked up the Zestimate on my own house just before this to see if I could maybe make fun of it. And I would list my house $40,000 over what the Zestimate estimate is on my current home. So the Zestimate estimate is just an estimate. But you want to be in your house. You want to get the comparables. That's what we do as realtors. We'll bring you, hey, we're going to think like an appraiser. We're going to bring you the comparables that have sold in the last 6 months within about a mile of your house, depending on where it is. We will get you enough houses that have sold to, be able to compare yours. Take what you have, what the best things that you have about your house and how they look like compared to this guy who sold for this price. And we'll get you, a rough estimate. We'll try to get a ballpark of what your house is worth. Yes, the price of your active listing on the, like your neighbor's active listing across the street, that guy's house is not a comp. That you cannot use that to value your house. It has to be a sold price. There are some homes that will go pending that we can call the agent and say, hey, like how much interest did you get? Did you get close to your asking? Did you get over your asking? And sometimes these agents will reveal things, but ultimately, yes, an active listing doesn't even matter. You can price a house for $1 million in a neighborhood that doesn't ever sell for millions of dollars, and it's just an active price. It doesn't matter. It's not a sold listing. So you got to use solds. Now we're going to do some math, of course, and figure out what your house is worth. Now, there is something about preparing your home for market. You could do some stuff to make it worth more. You could fix the things that suck. You could update the little old kitchen or the bathroom that has an outdated sink or whatever. You could just do some updates. You could paint. You could go as far as putting in new carpet. I think the biggest ROI in terms of updating your home is a front door. I've read that. So you could do it. You get a new front door, get new doors. All these things that just add to what you could sell your house. You want to make your house as presentable as possible, in the best light to different buyers. Does that mean you should get a pre-inspection? A pre-inspection? No, maybe. I don't know if you really need to do that. Although there are some cities that do require a city inspection prior to listing your home for sale. Like Bloomington, for example, you have to have a guy come in and tell you that like these things are fine or fix this hazardous item so that we could feel comfortable transferring this title to the next buyer. Ultimately, a pre-inspection is up to you. You could do that. But you do, as a seller, have to disclose everything that you find in that pre-inspection. So sometimes you don't want to learn. You don't want to have to reveal that to a buyer. So we're getting ready to list. We found me. We've looked at the comps. We've come up with a price. You know what you need to do? You need to start to pack because we're going to sell it in this market. It's going to sell pretty quickly. So the best way to do that is to declutter your house to sell it quickly. You got to clean that thing. You got to make it look great for showings. Do I take the furniture all out? Do I take everything off the wall? Yeah, we'll discuss what you should leave and what you should put in there or, make look nice. Do you really need to stage your home? That's another question. Should we stage your house? In fact, I might have a stager come on and we can have a whole episode about staging and what that means and how much that costs. And statistically, does that help your home sell faster? And you know what? In 2021, you can have a virtual staging. So you just take the photos with no furniture in there and you go to a website and you plug in a couch, you plug in a bed, and then it looks exactly like a real bed. It's crazy. Sometimes you're like, was that staged or virtual stage? Like, can't even tell. So yeah, you stage your house. Maybe. Okay, but you want to prepare your home for the photos. That's the most important things, the photos, because that's the first showing any potential buyer is going to have. They're going to look online. The good photos make a huge difference. So you want to get a good, real photographer, not your agent with his iPhone. You got a real photographer. So what you want to do is you want to have, your home minimalist amount of things. You just don't want to have anything out anywhere. So take all the stuff off the fridge. You can take down all the family pictures. You got to just think of like, you're just about to move and what's the least amount of things you can put up there. I, in fact, sold my home once. I work with my mother. I'm working out of 50th in France in Edina, Minnesota for Edina Realty. We're in a team together. At the same time, I sold my home and I had, my best declutter and my best take off all the paint. I had like one picture here and one thing there. And my mom's like, no, nothing. So she came in and she decluttered my decluttering. So, just take stuff down. Okay. So you got to remove stuff from the fridge that, you just got to make it look great. Although these photographers nowadays, they could probably take that picture and just remove it and edit it out of your photos altogether. And so but you don't want to make this photographer do more work. What should we talk about next? The photographer himself, that'd be another topic for a different day. We could have Seth on or somebody that I use for my photographer. We could have him on and talk. But what they do, they come in, some photographers will come in and just take the pictures as is. They'll just open the door, walk through, take the picture. Some agents will get there with their photographer and they will be lifting furniture, moving things around, taking this stuff over here and off, hiding this over here, moving stuff around. I'm sometimes just dripping sweat in the middle of the summer, staging this house with their furniture and then moving things back and forth and all around just to make it look the best you can. Photographers are amazing and they can edit things too. But yes, okay, you get the photographer. You could, if you have a really good listing, you have cool property with some trees and you're in an area that's really nice, and you could get a drone. We have access to a drone photographer. You could do that. Oh, these things nowadays with COVID, people don't necessarily want a ton of people in their house. Maybe you want to do one of those virtual tours where you got a guy that goes in and he sets a little camera up, and every 10 feet he's putting a new thing and it's 360 view. And you could just walk through the house pretty coolly. So yeah, that's called Matterport. We can do that. Sometimes these people take a picture of the park down the road or whatever. But yeah, typically you want the photos, clean house, take about 48 hours to get back edited from your photographer. sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, depending on your home, whatever. But at the same time, you got the photos, you're getting ready because you want to have those prior to the listing. You want to put the listing out with the best possible pictures you can. I mean, the first impression is everything. So you want to have a great price, you want to have a great picture, and you want to put it on. We'll talk with each individual seller about the best strategy of when and how to put it on the market. We can do that with you. But yes, you've cleaned, you've decluttered, you've taken photos. Next, what's up? Well, you're going to put the listing on the market. It's going to be crazy. There are different ways you could do it. You could start by having it pre-listed, off market, or you just go right to the market. I mean, in 2021, in February, what is it, February 26th? This is like, you don't even almost need an agent. You just put a sign in your front yard. You're going to get it's going to be like bees on honey, flies on honey. You're going to just get a bunch of people that want the house. So it's going to be pretty easy to sell it. But at the same time, you need an agent for a lot of different reasons, including getting yourself onto the MLS. I pay to have access to the multiple listing service. It's an option for you to put your house on the MLS. You could just go the Zillow route. Is Zillow an MLS? No, it is not, in fact. So you want to have as many eyeballs as you can on your house so you can get the competition for it. Maybe you get multiple offers. We will also do the best to market your home, obviously spreading the word on social media, bringing attention to your neighbors with mailers or other agents in the area, different offices in that area, and we'll flyer them. We're going to work specifically with you, the seller, to come up with the best marketing plan for your property. Okay, so you got your property online. You click a button and it goes online, and it starts getting spread around everywhere everyone who has a search criteria that your property falls under. Boom, you get sent to them. Then potential buyers will start showing up because they're going to want to see it. And that's when the fun begins. Showings. What's a showing? Okay, well, you probably know what this is. But at the same time, a buyer wants to see your house. They're going to request a specific time. Now, under the Minnesota law, they can't go over there by themselves. They can't just show up on your property, knock on the door, and look around. They have to have an agent open the door for them, bring them in there. So about an hour or so before the showing, the agent will give this person a lockbox information, access to the home, and the agent will go in and show the buyer around. They'll snoop a little bit. They're not going to inspect it. You're not expecting an inspection when you're showing it. You got to do that later. So they're not going to look in the attic or get really detailed, whatever, but they're going to look at your house. They want to see it. And then they might write an offer. That's when the real fun begins. Offer considerations. A lot of offers, you could weigh what is most important to you. How does this look? Is the closing date right? You got all this stuff you could do. Terms. Are they 20% down? Are they 3% down? Are we worried about that? You got offer price, clearly is the biggest. You got earnest money amount. You got closing date. That could matter to you. Contingencies. I need to buy or need to sell a house to buy yours. And is that good for you? Blah, blah. Again, we're going to walk you through all this stuff. Once you get an offer, you have to decide how this offer looks to you. Is it good? Should we take it? Maybe. Okay, so then you do take it. You accept this person's offer. After maybe negotiating, maybe not. As a seller in 2021, you might just be like, show me the money. I don't care. I'm going to make a ton of money on my house in 2021 because there's no active listings. So you accept someone's offer, and then they might have their own inspection. That might take 5-7 days to get them in there and do their own inspection. Again, in 2021, you probably have multiple offers. So you could probably hold this person over the other person that wants your house too. You'd be like, listen, you can do an inspection all you want, but you're not going to get me to concede anything. I'm just going to move on to the next buyer. So it's more or less, in an imbalanced market, you might be able to ask for certain hazards or certain dangerous items that you're worried about. But yeah, nowadays you pretty much have to take the house as is because someone else will. Okay, so that's kind of how it is. Just take the best. Oh, yeah. What if you get multiple offers and, how do you determine? Well, we'll work with you to figure out if this person's offer is better, even if this person has more money or they're offering more money. Maybe that's not as important. So we have to decide what is the best strategy for that. And we'll work with you on that. Again, having an experienced agent, that helps because sometimes Lisa and I, we've worked with this other agent before. They trust us. That's huge in this business is to get someone that you've worked with before because they're not going to BS you. You're not going to get some crazy agent that's demanding weird things or has no idea what they're doing because they haven't been in the industry at all forever. So having an experienced agent, someone that is 7 years or 20 years in the business, this is going to help you get a better deal. Or typically you're going to get what you want. You're going to feel more comfortable having and working with an experienced agent. Okay, boom. You go back and forth. After the inspection's over, they come back with something, you go back with something, you can say, oh, boom, and now we have an accepted offer and everyone's happy. Okay, so now what's up next? Well, the buyer is going to we're going to go to pending. It's going to go into pending. In other states, I think on $1 Million Listing LA, they call it escrow, where you're basically just waiting to close. Everyone agrees on everything. It's just about the background financing pieces and the title work getting done. The bank has to require an appraisal for the buyer and all this stuff. If they've got a loan on it or a mortgage on it, they're going to need to make sure it's worth it. All this stuff happens within, 17 to 25, sometimes 30 days to get this stuff done, depending on where you are. If you're all cash, typically close 5 days or really fast. So yes, the bank's going to require you to do all this stuff. So then you get to closing, you got to go to closing, you got to sign stuff, and you're going to give the keys over to this buyer. You're going to talk about the trash day and all that stuff like that. It's whatever, pending. And then you go to closing, you sign, everyone's happy. You got to celebrate. Well, you don't want to celebrate too early. Don't be drunk at this closing. You got to bring your ID. You got to make sure you're not impaired. And then you typically sit together. It's weird. Buyer and seller sit together and you sold the house. That's it. Then all of a sudden the cash from the sale, or maybe you didn't make any money, but probably did. That'll be given to you, or it'll be directly put into your bank account. It's great. So you have money and you're happy. So do you have any questions? I have the ability to answer questions. So next week, we're doing the lender process. I've got a lender coming on. Chad Johnson of Edina Realty Mortgage, great lender. He's going to answer some questions about, can you use your Bitcoin wallet as a down payment, all that thing, fun stuff like that. But I will end with a couple of really frequently asked seller questions. First off, it's why not price your house higher than you think? Because don't you want room to negotiate? I think that people sometimes think, oh, yeah, I think I want to put it on for higher because they'll just lowball offer me. Not always. Sometimes your listing with that's too high price will cause other people to look at your house, and then they'll say, hey, this one's a lot better because it's 50 grand less. So they'll use your house to sell their other house. Typically you get to say, hey, this house is overpriced. I'm not going to look at it yet. So you're not going to have as many showings, and therefore you're not going to have as much interest. And then you may not have the ability to put two people together and cause them to be irrational. So sometimes it's better to be underpriced. There's other impacts of why overpricing is not good. And ultimately, the realtor, I don't determine the price. The market determines the price. Whoever wants to buy it wants to buy it. And for whatever it's worth, it's what it's worth. I could try to sell it for higher, or we could market it to the nines. We could do everything we can to bring you an offer, but if it's not worth what it's worth, it's what it is. Buyers aren't stupid. Let's see. Should you buy before you sell? Oh man, that might be a great question to ask Chad Johnson next Friday when we do this with him, the mortgage piece, because I don't know. Maybe it might be better. Maybe you can sell, or maybe you could buy without selling, and then that makes your offer when you buy look better. There's a lot of ways to do this. You could do a bridge loan and try to figure out, I'm going to sell my house, but I don't want to be contingent on any offer. Maybe I just sell my house to the bank real quick. Sits there. I don't know how this works. That's why I got to ask Chad Johnson. We got to ask this lender. All right. So that's it. I'm going to try to do this under 20 minutes every Friday morning, YouTube and Facebook. It's going to be great. Join me every week. And like I said, please share, subscribe. And also, if you have a topic you'd like me to cover, comment below. I'd be happy to cover any topic. I'm going to run out of ideas at some point. So, and if you do want to sell your house or you need to buy, please call me. I'd love to help you out. I'm at 612-590-3090, and I work for Edina Realty. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later. We got this cool music now. Martin's made this for me. Thanks for watching. See you next week. All right. Thanks, guys. See you later.